Ever wondered why you can't seem to focus or why your productivity levels are not as high as you'd like them to be? Perhaps you've noticed how some days you're brimming with energy, crossing off tasks on your to-do list with ease, while on other days the simplest tasks seem monumental. You might attribute this to lack of sleep, stress, or even diet. But have you ever stopped to consider the role your daily habits and lifestyle choices play in your mental clarity and productivity? Here at Awaken Mindset Mastery, we firmly believe that everyone has the potential to achieve anything they set their minds to. And we make these videos to help you unlock that potential. So, let's delve deeper into a key player in this scenario, dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical our produces that plays a significant role in how we feel pleasure. It asks us to repeat behaviors that make us feel good. But what happens when we overload our system with too much dopamine from activities like excessive screen time or overindulgence in food? What if there was a way to reset your mind and increase your productivity? That's where the Dopamine Detox Challenge comes into play. The Dopamine Detox Challenge is a method designed to reset your brain's reward system. So what exactly is this Dopamine Detox Challenge? Well, in essence, it's a self-improvement tool aimed at recalibrating how your brain responds to pleasure and reward. Dopamine, if you didn't know, is a neurotransmitter, a kind of chemical messenger in your brain, often associated with feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. It's what makes us feel good when we eat a delicious meal, finish a challenging task, or even when we scroll through social media. Now, the Dopamine Detox Challenge is not about completely eliminating dopamine from your life. No, that would be impossible and, quite frankly, not very enjoyable. What it's really about is limiting the amount of dopamine-inducing activities you partake in, allowing your brain to reset its response to these activities. You see, when we constantly bombard our brains with high levels of dopamine, like when we binge-watch a TV series or spend hours on social media, our brains adjust to these high levels and start requiring more dopamine to feel the same level of satisfaction. This can lead to feelings of restlessness, dissatisfaction, and can make it harder to find joy in simpler things. The purpose of the Dopamine Detox Challenge is to break this cycle. By consciously limiting dopamine-inducing activities, we can help our brains reset their response to dopamine. This can lead to increased mental clarity, improved focus, and a greater ability to find joy in the simpler, more meaningful aspects of life. And why does it work? Well, it's all about balance. When we give our brains a break from constant high-dose dopamine activities, we allow them to recalibrate their response to these activities. This can help us to regain control over our habits, focus, and overall well-being. Sounds challenging, right? But don't worry, we're going to break it down into manageable steps. The first step in the Dopamine Detox Challenge is to identify the activities that give you a dopamine rush. To embark on this journey, we first need to pinpoint the activities that trigger a dopamine surge in our brains. These are typically activities that give us a great deal of pleasure, but they can often be mindless, time-consuming, and not necessarily beneficial for our long-term well-being. Let's take a common one, using social media. It's designed to be addictive. Each notification, like, or comment sends a small wave of dopamine through our system, making us feel good momentarily. But over time, this constant stream of dopamine can lead to us needing more and more to feel the same level of satisfaction, which can easily spiral into overuse or even addiction. Next, consider your eating habits. Junk food, particularly those high in sugar and fats, can trigger an intense dopamine response. We might think, just one more cookie won't hurt, but that one cookie can quickly become a whole packet as our brains seek out that pleasurable dopamine hit. Or perhaps it's binge-watching TV shows or movies. The suspense, the drama, the laughter, it all stimulates dopamine production, and before we know it, we've spent hours glued to the screen, neglecting other important aspects of our lives. These are just a few examples, and the activities that induce dopamine will vary from person to person. It could be online shopping, playing video games, or even something seemingly harmless like daydreaming. The key here is to be observant and honest with yourself about the activities that you find excessively pleasurable and time-consuming. Being aware of these dopamine-inducing activities is a crucial first step in the Dopamine Detox Challenge. This awareness allows us to understand our habits and triggers better, and ultimately gives us the power to control them, rather than letting them control us. So take a moment, reflect on your daily routines, and identify those activities that seem to take up a lot of your time and give you a quick dopamine rush. Once you've identified these activities, you're ready for the next step. The second step involves limiting your engagement in dopamine-inducing activities. Now you're probably asking, how do I do this? Well, the key is to approach it gradually. Abruptly stopping these activities could lead to withdrawal symptoms and might make the process more difficult than it needs to be. Imagine you're on a boat and you want to change direction. You don't just jerk the steering wheel, you turn it slowly, steadily, and purposefully. The same principle applies here. Start by reducing the time spent on these activities bit by bit every day. If you spend 3 hours a day on social media, try to cut it down to 2.5 hours, then 2, and so on. This approach allows your brain to adjust to the change gradually, making the transition smoother and more manageable. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a successful dopamine detox. Patience, persistence, and consistency are your best allies in this journey. But it's not just about limiting these activities, it's also about replacing them with healthier alternatives. If you used to spend hours scrolling through social media, you could replace this time with reading a book, practicing mindfulness, or going for a walk. If you used to binge-watch series, you could replace this with learning a new skill or hobby. The idea here is to replace dopamine-inducing activities with ones that provide a more sustained and fulfilling sense of satisfaction. This way, you're not just depriving your brain of dopamine, but you're also retraining it to find pleasure and satisfaction in activities that are beneficial for your mental and physical health. And yes, it's going to be challenging. There might be days when you'll be tempted to revert to your old habits. On those days, remind yourself why you started this detox in the first place. Remember the benefits it brings and the mental clarity it provides. Limiting these activities can be challenging, but remember, it's a crucial part of the detox process. You're not only resetting your mind and body, but also paving the way for a healthier, more focused, and more fulfilling life. So keep going, and remember, every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. The final step in the dopamine detox challenge is maintaining the detox. Now that you've identified your dopamine-inducing activities and taken steps to limit them, it's time to focus on maintaining this newfound balance in your life. Maintaining the detox is not about completely eradicating all sources of dopamine. It's about forming a healthy relationship with dopamine-inducing activities. You see, dopamine is not the enemy. It's a crucial part of our brain chemistry that motivates us and makes us feel good. The problem arises when we overindulge in instant gratification activities that flood our brains with dopamine, causing a desensitization over time. Think of this phase as a reset, a chance to normalize your brain's dopamine levels and improve your ability to focus, enjoy life's simple pleasures, and make meaningful progress towards your goals. So, how do we maintain this detox over a longer period? It all boils down to consistency and patience. It's about making small, manageable changes to your daily routine and sticking to them. Start by setting aside specific times for dopamine-inducing activities. Maybe you allow yourself 1 hour of social media a day, or you indulge in your favorite TV show only after you've completed a challenging task. Remember, this is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's about developing new habits and a healthier lifestyle. It might seem challenging at first, and you may face setbacks, but don't let these discourage you. Instead, view them as opportunities to learn and adjust your approach. It's also crucial to replace dopamine-inducing activities with healthier alternatives. Engage in activities that provide long-term satisfaction and growth. This might be reading a book, practicing mindfulness, or picking up a new hobby. Lastly, remember to be patient with yourself. Change takes time, and it's okay to have ups and downs. What's important is that you're making a conscious effort to better yourself. Maintaining the detox is the key to resetting your brain and achieving mental clarity. So stick with it, you've got this. Embrace the journey and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. So that's the dopamine detox challenge in a nutshell. We've journeyed through the intriguing concept of a dopamine detox, exploring how identifying and limiting dopamine-inducing activities can pave the way to mental clarity. This challenge is not just about abstaining from certain activities. It's about resetting your mind and body, giving you the chance to experience life from a fresh perspective. Imagine the potential benefits: enhanced focus, improved productivity, a better understanding of your desires, and an overall boost in your well-being. It's a journey that requires commitment, but the rewards are immense. It's not just a detox, it's a lifestyle change that can lead to a more fulfilled and meaningful life. Remember, change begins with a single step. Are you ready to take yours? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We'd love to hear about your journey with the Dopamine Detox Challenge.